Did KATSEYE have a meltdown on stage at Governor's Ball, or were they just running on zero? Jennie just made history at Governor's Ball, but of course, the internet had something to say. And why was Stray Kids missing a member at one of the biggest festivals of the year? Governor's Ball 2026 was supposed to be K-pop's biggest mainstream moment yet, and in a lot of ways, it was. But underneath all the hype, there were some conversations fans could not stop having. And we're getting into all of it. KATSEYE delivered a high-energy 50-minute set at Governor's Ball, drawing a massive crowd and generating plenty of buzz online. Even Cardi B and her daughter were spotted in the audience singing along, a moment many fans pointed to as proof of just how quickly the group's popularity is growing. But as often happens with viral festival performances, the conversation didn't stay focused on the music for long, because shortly after the show, a Backstage clip began making the rounds online, and it sparked an entirely different discussion. A fan-recorded TikTok showed members Daniela and Megan backstage at Gov Ball, and many viewers immediately began speculating about what they were seeing. The clip appeared to show an intense interaction, with some pointing to their body language and expressions as sign that something was wrong. The problem? The audio was almost impossible to hear because of the surrounding noise, meaning nobody actually knew what was being said. That didn't stop the internet from jumping to conclusion. The clip had sparked widespread speculation, with some viewers convinced the two members had been arguing. One comments wrote, "They were damn near about to start throwing hands, damn. We've been known they don't really FW each other, especially those two." Never forgot people used to speculate that they had beef, and they had to do a TikTok dance to kill the rumors. But other fans pushed back just as hard, suggested they were simply raising their voices to be heard over the loud festival music, while some desperately looked for lip readers to help clear up the confusion. Regardless of what actually happened, the clip spread fast enough to become a massive part of the post-festival conversation. But even as the speculation spread, another discussion was quietly building online. This time, it wasn't about what might have happened backstage, but about what fans felt they were seeing on stage, a performance that looked noticeably lower in energy than usual. And many noticed that Megan was seen coughing multiple times on stage. One comment wrote, "It's so clear the girls are being overworked. This performance has no energy compared to other performances, and you can see over all their recent performances, they're getting more tired." Another wrote, "Jokes aside, the girls did amazing here. While clearly being exhausted, they're still in performance mode. Their faces are locked in." And honestly, that seemed to be the main takeaway for a lot of people. Whether they love the performance or not, many fans agreed on one thing: let these girls rest. Now, to be fair, KATSEYE had an incredibly packed schedule leading into Gov Ball, and performing a 50-minute set in the summer heat of New York is no small task. But what stood out online wasn't just the performance itself, it was the reaction to it. Because when your own fans aren't just celebrating you, but actively worrying about you, that shifts the entire conversation. And that's exactly what happened here. The discussion quickly expanded to HYB and Geffen, the agencies behind the group, with fans expressing concern about the pressure the members may be under. Some even directly said they hope the label doesn't break their spirits, adding that the group deserves more rest and more control over their own schedules and live. But if fans thought the conversation would stop at performance reviews, they were wrong. Because one of the biggest debates from the festival had nothing to do with vocals, choreography, or stage presence. It was KATSEYE's outfit, and the reaction split almost instantly. Clips from Internet Girl, in particular, circulated widely across social media. While many fans loved the coordinated festival-inspired styling and felt it matched the energy of the performance, others were much more critical. In the comments, netizens wondered why the members didn't all have shorts like Yoonchai, but even pointed out that all the group's looks were provocative, with some even saying it felt like they were selling their bodies, not their voices. It's easy to see why the outfits became such a big talking point, since the discussion wasn't just about fashion. It raised real questions about image and comfort. On the other hand, the outfits do fit right in with current festival trends and aren't very different from what other pop artists wear at major events. KATSEYE's styling has been sparking controversy since the group's debut. However, that wasn't the only major K-pop conversation coming out of Governor's Ball. Jennie made history as the first K-pop solo artist to headline Governor's Ball, delivering a one-hour set packed with 17 songs from her album Ruby, her solo catalog, and a surprise no one saw coming: 3 unreleased tracks performed live for the very first time. The crowd reaction was instant, but as always with Jennie, the conversation didn't stay only positive. Clips from the set sparked backlash online, with some viewers questioning whether parts of the performance were fully live and accusing her of relying heavily on backing tracks. But this isn't new. In fact, it has become one of the most predictable parts of any major Jennie performance. Whether it's a festival, an award show, or a headline set, discussions about her vocals, stage presence, and use of backing tracks tend to explode online almost immediately. What makes it notable is that the criticism often arrives alongside overwhelming attention. Even when people disagree about her performance, Jennie usually ends up dominating the conversation. And regardless of where people stood on the debate, one thing was hard to deny: Jennie arguably stole the spotlight on day 3 and remained one of the biggest talking points of the entire festival. But Jennie's moment wasn't the only historic K-pop headline coming out of Governor's Ball. Stray Kids were the Saturday night headliners, becoming the first K-pop group to ever headline Governor's Ball, a historic milestone for the genre. However, the day came with challenges, as someone was unable to participate due to a stress fracture in his ankle, while storm-related schedule changes pushed their set 2 hours earlier and into daylight. Despite performing as 7 members under less than ideal conditions and without their full lineup, they still delivered a high-energy 18-song set covering multiple eras of their career, with songs like S-Class, Maniac, and God's Menu electrifying the massive crowd. Even with the disruptions, the performance was widely praised, with reviewers calling it nothing short of electric. And by the end of the night, Stray Kids still stood firmly as the official headliners, and they earned it. Governor's Ball 2026 6 was 4 years in the making, and K-pop delivered. The festival is over, but the conversations? Clearly not. Which moment stood out to you the most? Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.